Hey guys, welcome back to the Drama Drop. We have a solo pod today, and it's just going to be me yapping because there is literally so much that's going on. So don't waste any time. Go ahead, subscribe, like, follow on all the platforms that you listen to your podcast and on TikTok and Instagram at the.drama.drop. All right, let's not waste any time. Let's get into it.
Hey friends, this is the Drama Drop because somebody has to talk about it.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Drama Drop. It's Morgan. I mean, let me just say, what another week we have on our hands. It just doesn't stop. I don't understand. I honestly cannot remember a time when there was so much drama back to back to back to back. It never stops. And I really don't even know where to begin. I am recording this Tuesday, April 28th. I just have to say. So there's going to be some things that I really just need to talk about. I need to just regurgitate. I'm sure you've probably maybe sick of it at this point, tired of hearing about it, but things just keep adding on. And it's just like, there's just not enough time. Like there's once an hour goes by, so much more happens. So I feel like I can't get a moment to be like, oh, I wanted to talk about that. So I apologize, but there's just some things that have to be touched on. I mean, obviously there's some big things like Summer House reunion leak. We'll get into that, but there's just so many things in all avenues, all directions. It's a lot to keep up with. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. Call her daddy. We know this all really started crumbling with the whole Alex Earl, Alex Cooper back and forth kind of passive aggressive situation, I guess you could say, online, all that speculation. Well, this just kind of really took a turn that I wasn't expecting. I mean, now everybody's kind of looking at Matt Kaplan like he's the problem. Like, is he the drama? I think so. It's really ironic because when you look at it from a lens of how Call Her Daddy started and the trajectory of it, the journey to Sophia Franklin and Alex Cooper breaking up, and it kind of centered around, Sophia Franklin, her boyfriend at the time, him kind of getting involved in the business of what Call Her Daddy was. And it was really, projected as, why are we letting this man tell women what to do, how they should handle their business, their job, their career, like give them any sort of advice, basically making it be like, that is just terrible. Like Sophia let a man kind of ruin her career essentially. But now it's just kind of funny because word on the street is Matt Kaplan, he's like not one to work for, to work with. Bloomberg put out a huge report that alleges that there's been so many issues going on at the Unwell Network. I mean, there's been so many things. Granted, these are all alleged. The sources, these are people popping up on TikTok telling their stories. Just different comment sections that I'm seeing people be like, oh yeah, I used to work with him at Paramount, bad experience. So, granted, take that for what you will, but I'm still eating it up. I am loving every single story because it's so intriguing to me. So basically what it boils down to is that Matt Kaplan is just absolutely awful to work with. He berates the employees, he yells at them, just makes it very unpleasant working environment for everybody. Even people that haven't officially joined Unwell Network. This one woman, she posted a TikTok about how she was interviewing with him or Unwell Network, and she mainly was going to be working with him, and just talked about how he just made her feel really uncomfortable, like sizing her up, asking what her parents do, just not professional by any means. And it's just super interesting to me because I'm trying to understand it. I'm like, does Alex know that this is going on? Does she, because if they're not completely working side by side, does she know how the way everybody's truly getting treated? Because, I'm trying to think of it as like, most companies, they have an HR department and you can make a formal complaint. But what I don't fully know, what I don't understand is how a Unwell Network is structured. So it's like, yeah, I guess they have an HR department, but like how involved, how much does that HR department have any sort of say? Because I will say, I have worked at a company where, yeah, there was an HR department. It did not matter. It was such a small company. It was really just for show, like it didn't matter. Like, okay, so you can go and complain, but if like the company, to me, I'm just like, the company seems probably fairly small compared to most. And, you're pretty much, I guess, the owner, co-owner, whatever, Alex and Matt are in it together. Like, what could really be done? So anyways, I don't know. Like, I wonder if Alex truly knows what's going on, or if she does, why she's co-signing on this. And is he gonna end up being the demise of any future success that she has? It's just very interesting because all these things are coming out. Like, are people going to want to work with her? And like I said, there was this report that came out and it had said that there have been 20 employees that had left within a year, which include people that held titles of head of brand networking, head of the network, chief of growth officer. So like that's a lot, like a lot of high ups willing to leave in such a short amount of time, which on the outside seems like it's such a booming company. Like there's just so many things that are going on. And, I get it when you are starting and you're really trying to grow, you're trying to put your everything out there. You want to work really hard, but I don't know. Like there's a difference. You have to treat people well. There's a difference between like, oh yeah, working really hard, but also taking care of your employees and like knowing like you got to put in all the work to see the reward. But if you're treating people really terribly and all that's really getting benefited is you, like, yeah, you're not going to see that. So I don't know. It was just so interesting to me that all of this is kind of coming to light. And it's just interesting, like the trickle effect of it really kind of just started with Alex Earl reposting things and kind of just being passive aggressive. Had Alex Cooper not made that TikTok being like, hey, say what you have to say, I just don't think all this other stuff would have come out about Matt Kaplan. But at the same time, I've also heard on the flip of it that they got wind that this report was coming out, which I didn't really know that people got wind of like certain things. I mean, I guess I don't know, maybe it just I guess it depends. I'm not sure, but um they got wind of this report coming out. So I guess they were trying to create some sort of distraction, not a PR stunt for everybody that freaks out over everything being a PR stunt. Not that, just kind of like, oh, maybe we can just kind of create something different that's not going to draw attention to that. Well, they were completely wrong. I will say, as the week has gone on, I feel like I haven't seen too much with the Unwell Network. I mean, Alex is just continuing as normal. Well, I guess her and Matt, they like fled to Hawaii, but like the podcast is going on as normal. These episodes, obviously, I know she drops or records them well in advance, but they're just continuing to drop. And I'm just very curious if she's going to address anything because, see, here's the thing, people are like, oh, Alex Earl, like, are you going to say something? Are you going to make a statement? You made this comment like on it, which I'll be completely honest. I never once truly thought she was going to come and make a video because one, she has a show on the way. I just think everything is just going to be left for that show if it is going to be touched. Um, so like, I mean, I didn't really take it as a matter of fact, like a lot of people did, but still was hoping. But I just think that with Alex Cooper, you have a podcast, like a weekly podcast. I actually think she does too. I think she does like Sunday ones too, where it's like a solo Sunday. I feel like she has to address something, no? Because Alex Earl, like she posts get ready with me's or she just does like fun little TikToks. Like there's not like a thing where she is sitting down every week talking to the camera, talking to an audience. I just don't know how you like continue to move forward without making some sort of statement. I mean, and again, too, Alex, like it's not like she's having I don't even know, like the alarm on her, whatever you want to call it, the target on her where she needs to come clean about something or address something. Like, I see what everybody's saying, blah, blah, blah. No, it's just completely different. I don't know. I feel like we are owed something. I just feel like it would be very bizarre to just ignore everything. Um, Especially like, how would you expect people to want to work at your company? And I mean, it's known the podcast that she has, like the people that she signs on, it's quote unquote, where podcasts go to die. Like, I don't ever hear or see anything of these people's podcasts. Like, maybe the beginning, whenever she's doing some little promo um for them. Like, for example, Kendall from Dance Moms, like, she signed with Unwell Network, has a podcast there. Aside from whenever it was first getting dropped, I don't think I've seen a single thing. Like, it hasn't come up organically. I haven't seen any clips, nothing, just with any of the podcasts. So it's just, I don't know. I'm just like trying to think, how are you getting people to join your network? And then, you know, if it's not going to be a good environment, how you're going to continue that? I don't know. I'll just be so curious to see how this moves forward, how the Unwell Network stands the test of time. But I mean, I just feel like there are so many things that, like, scandals happen and it's always just like, "Oh, like, is this it? Is this the downfall?" And it never is. So it's like, I don't think Unwell Network is just gonna, like, crash and burn and there's just gonna be no more. Like, that I absolutely do not think, but I will just be so interested to see if there's any moves, any pivots, because clearly whatever's going on now is not working, and all these random things, like, I don't know if it's just, like, they are wanting to do things and they're just creating it, or opportunities being presented and they just don't know the word no, but just random things like Unwell games and then Love Overboard. And I don't know, it's just kind of all over the place. And really we only see Alex Cooper, or at least me. I don't know, I've seen people talk about how they don't see anybody else that signs with her or the Unwell Network kind of growing or anything like that. Like, I used to see Grace O'Malley all the time and, like, her podcast. Now, her being under Unwell Network, I don't see it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. So, my point on bringing all of this up is that it's just coming to light that her husband is maybe just not the greatest to work with, under, for, whatever you want to call it. And the irony of, okay, is he just taking way too much control over this and kind of causing a rift in her career? And then, we can go back and just look at Call Her Daddy with Sophia and Suitman of it all. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, she's letting a man ruin her career. But look where we are. Look where we are. Okay, so enough about that unless something new happens. I just really had to get that off my chest. Just, you know, I had to talk about Matt Kaplan. Okay. All right. So obviously what's been crazy going on, just a pivot, the Summer House audio leak. Okay. This has never happened before. At least to my knowledge. I don't think this has ever happened before. I've never seen Andy so just present, mad, infuriated, and just, which I don't blame him, but there has not been just one audio leak, not two, but three audio leaks of the Summer House reunion. And let me tell you, I listened to those. It's funny, like, they get removed fairly quickly. So whoever is putting in the work, they're doing a great job. But I was able to have the luxury of listening to them. And let me just say, it's insane. I honestly, like, okay. I usually, okay. I'm going to be kind of contradictory here, because there's a lot of times, like, with reunions or shows or whatever, like I get it. You have to cut down, you have to have some time. Or I guess, I talk about this with like the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives reunion. I was like, what was that? Like we got absolutely nothing. And I get it. You have to cut time. Like there's only so much. And then I'm just like, give me the uncut footage. Like, I want to see every single second. I don't want to miss a beat. Like, I don't want anything cut. Like, I want to hear everybody's thoughts, opinions, everybody's facial reactions. I want to see the sweat. I want to see the tears. I want to see the uncomfortable shift of position. Like, there is not a moment that I want to miss with this reunion. I will say I've experienced uncut footage, with just gonna say like Temptation Island reunion on the Nick Viall files, the Age of Attraction reunion. That's all uncut, which is great, and I can appreciate that. But I will say there are a lot of boring parts that I'm just kind of like, okay, like I can look past this, or I just start to do something else and then I forget to come back to it. So it's like I understand that then. Then that reminds me, it's like, okay, yes, that is why we have editing and why things, it's because we're cutting out all like just the random BS. But this just feels so heavy, just what we were able to hear. And I mean, obviously, I'm not going to play it. I don't have the audio. You can probably find the transcript actually on Reddit. I did see all audio leaks 1, 2, and 3. There was a transcript of it, which actually was super helpful. I did skim through it because there were some parts where I was like, I can't tell fully who was saying what. Like, I couldn't tell if that was Sierra or Mia, or there was some faint parts. I was like, okay, is that Kyle? So, but yeah, I mean, you could just everybody had something to say. It wasn't, so obviously, because of Sierra, Amanda, and West, and Kyle, poor Kyle, he just really gets left behind on all of this, and he's an important player too. But you could just feel how heavy it was with what we could hear. We heard some Andy. Mia was really just kind of going at Amanda. And I will say, I honestly was so shocked because Amanda was very combative. She, if you look at the Vanderpump with the whole Scandival reunion, Raquel, Rachel, whichever one you prefer to call her, didn't make it right, obviously, but you could see fear in her eyes. Granted, these were audio leaks, so we couldn't see anything, but you could feel the, I guess, remorse. Like, she was very apologetic. I was about to say she sounded scared, but she always sounds scared when she talks. So this might be a mute point. I don't know. But, she was very apologetic and just like, I know, kind of like not really, I don't feel like defending herself too much in any situation, but like Amanda was 10 toes down. And honestly, you know what? For reunion and entertainment purposes, I actually appreciate that because that makes it so much more entertaining, at least as a viewer. It makes me sick for Sierra, absolutely sick, because it's just like, okay, you were never, ever my friend. And like, that's got to be such a sickening feeling. And I hate that for her. Entertainment purposes. And I understand that these are people's lives. So that does suck. Like, hate to say it, but like entertainment wise, thank goodness, honestly, like I feel like it would have been really boring had Amanda been like, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, I know what I did was wrong. Like, no, I want to hear why you think you're right, why you think this isn't wrong, or if you do think this is wrong, why you don't care that enough that it's wrong and why you moved forward the way that you moved. I want to hear it. And it sounds like she's giving that to us with just the audio clips that I was able to hear. She, is just kind of like, you can't help who you like. You said it best, Sierra. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, basically insinuating that like, Sierra was so hung up on West all these years and he treated her like crap, whatever, but she just could not get past him. But she couldn't help it, kind of using her words against her because it's like, oh, no, Sierra, see, you can't help who you like. I can't help that I like West, and it's just kind of like, oh my gosh, like she really just, 10 toes down. I'm saying that a lot. I'm sorry, but like that's just what it is. I mean, yeah, like, she does address of like, okay, I know this is terrible. Like, I knew, like, I just felt uncomfortable. Like, I was going to lose a friendship. She acknowledges that. Like, I can appreciate that she was aware that, like, this was going to be detrimental. And, you ask the question, it's like, why? Like, why did you lie? Like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she's very much just like, I lied because I knew, like, once I let it all out, like, that was going to be the end of our friendship. Like, she's very forthcoming in that. And I can appreciate that for entertainment value. Like, I honestly much rather those type of reactions, as infuriating as it is and as sickening as it is to, like, the hurt that she caused. And I know she caused hurt with other people, not even like indirectly, just like knowing that that's what you did. Like, we viewed you one way and this is how you treat one of your best friends. Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. And I don't know. I just, like I said, I feel like it's going to be very, I don't know, just very tense because she is being combative. I feel like that just stirs the rest of the cast up that much more. Like, they want to go in, like, they're saying their 2 cents. I mean, they're flat out just being like, this is actually ridiculous. Like, you are now one of West's side pieces. Like, you're willingly choosing to play that role. What's even more embarrassing, listening to the audio, and again, these are just short little clips. We're probably going to get maybe a 2-3-parter reunion. One can hope. I'm crossing my fingers on that. But West, I'm sorry. This man, he is not defending Amanda, like, whatsoever. Like, at least in the clips that I was hearing, he just seemed very much kind of just like, yeah, we wanted to put out a joint statement. Like, there's no right time. There's no right time. He's not like, hey, lay off Amanda. Like, we both went into this. Like, we both fell for each other. We both, none of that. No laying off. Like, Tom Sandoval even stood up for Rachel. And that was infuriating to watch. So I almost wish West was like, no, like, this is us. Like, we are in it. Like, that just almost makes me feel like he's just like, ugh, like, this is just not what I wanted. And unfortunately, it got out. So I feel like he's kind of caught between, like, I have to ride this out for as much as possible to just make me not look like such a piece of crap. But he's just, like, not in it. I wish I really knew the inner workings of his mind. Guarantee I don't I just don't think that he likes Amanda like that. I think Amanda likes him like that. And I think, she's doubling down because she doesn't want to look stupid, that she risked her friendship to just be one of his little chess pieces. And she's now like, okay, it's out in the public, whatever. Now we really have to kind of go all in. And he's just kind of agreeing to it, but not playing into it that well. Like, and it really shows. Like, he did not seem like he was defending her. Um, Apparently he gets a little bit more combative, I think. But he was not really giving me much in terms of, like, oh yeah, like, he really is into Amanda. And so, like I said, going back to the Vanderpump reunion, Tom Sandoval, he was sticking up for Rachel, and that was just so painful to watch. I mean, everybody was just getting so like, ugh. But at least he was doing that. It's like, he, like, it's just, I don't know. It's so messy. It's so complicated because you want to see these different layers. And I don't know. I just truly, like, here's the thing. I know there's, like, what, maybe 5 more episodes before we finally get the reunion. It's so annoying. I, at this point, wish they would just drop the rest of the season so we can get to the reunion, because the more that comes out, like, these episodes are just so cringe to watch. Like, I've been seeing the preview for this week and, they're all out on a boat. Amanda doesn't go. And I guess Wes makes a post of like, oh, this is like the best night ever, best weekend ever, whatever. But Amanda's not there. And so she's like telling Sierra, like, oh, like, that's such a slap in the face that this is his best weekend, best night, whatever. I'm not there. I'm sorry, what? That's just so insane. And Sierra does address this. Like, there was parts of it in the audio leaks that she's like, "You were playing in all of our faces, like, leaving breadcrumbs, like, you were not being secretive, like, it was just some sort of sick game to these people to see how much they could just sneak it under everybody's noses," and honestly, like, that is so scary. That is such scary behavior when you think about it, and, you know, you all these clips are resurfacing. It's so funny, like, when you think of perspective and, perception is reality, right? We're okay, I can't say we because I hadn't or I haven't watched Summer House. Like, now, like, I'm that person, like, when the whole Scandal thing happened, like, everybody then started, tuning in. I haven't, like, jumped all the way back. Again, I kinda know the players. I know, like, situations, but so from what I'm gathering, it's, everybody was viewing Amanda in the lens of like, "Oh, it's just like Amanda, like fun Amanda, like she's cool with everybody. She's like the sister to all the guys." And, like, yeah, like Kyle's terrible. Kyle's so awful, yada, yada, yada. Now that we know what we know and her sneaky moves and her being a snake in the grass, like Sierra said, or was it Mia? I don't know. Somebody called her snake in the grass. No, it was Sierra for sure, for sure. And all these old clips resurfacing, and it's like, "Oh, you dirty, dirty little dog." You know what I mean? Like, you're looking when you are viewing something and you like have a different idea of who that person is, you see something so completely different. Now that we know how she moves, things that seemed innocent aren't so innocent anymore. And it's just so bizarre. It's so weird. And, everybody now, it's like justice for Kyle. Like, maybe he was right. Doesn't excuse what he's done. But it's like, oh my gosh, like she was terrible. Like, she was truly awful. And it shows. I mean, you just don't do that. Like, I don't know. It's actually insane. I just don't know what they thought, or yeah, I don't know what Amanda and Wes thought was gonna happen. I mean, again, I don't think Wes really cares because yeah, like he's already made Sierra cry and made her miserable and all that stuff, but it wasn't like, well, I guess I don't know. I feel like I'm talking in circles because I keep thinking of these weird things. Like, he did say, "Sierra, you're my best friend." Because I was gonna say, well, it wasn't his best friend, but like, let's be real, okay? Like, you can't be friends after you've had all that type of history. Like, you can't just be best friends, whatever. So like, it's not his friend. So I mean, to him, like, whatever. Like, Amanda was just another notch, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. It's just it's honestly, it's truly crazy, and I am just really excited for the reunion. I think it's gonna be great. And I feel so terrible saying I think it's gonna be great because it's just an awful situation, but I feel like Andy's really gonna ask the questions. Everybody's gonna ask the questions. Everybody feels so emotionally involved. And like I said, Amanda seems to be very defensive. She's not cowering down. She's not whimpering tail between her legs because that would piss me off so much more. So yeah, I'd rather her be a little bit frustrating because at least make it seem like what you did, at least make it seem like try to convince us that it was worth it. We're not going to buy it. But I mean, just give us a little. And it sounds like that's what's going to happen. All right. Anyways. Okay. Moving on. Vanderpump Villa. All right. I've dabbled in some Vanderpump Villa because obviously, we saw Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Like, that was a whole premise to the stories of Jesse and Dakota, Taylor, all of them, Marciano, that whole thing. So anyways, I had to start watching Vanderpump Villa for the plot. It was important. I was just doing scientific research. And so going to when DadTok enters the villa. So there's this whole buildup of like, when you're watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, like, that Jordan confronts Marciano. So I've just been looking forward to this for so long. I'm just so curious to see how the conversation goes. It was just, it made me really uncomfortable. I have to say, it did make me feel very uncomfortable just because, again, the timelines, like, things just move too quickly now in the Bravo. Well, I guess it's not Bravo, but just in the reality world, like sphere, I feel like everything just moves way too quickly, or we just have way too much access to people. And and knowing what's going on in all of their lives, that it's like timelines are so weird now. It used to be a season would come out. If anything happened after that season wrapped, we wouldn't really know until the reunion. And now it's like everything is just jumping. Like, so watching this was just really uncomfortable, knowing that they are going through divorce, getting divorced, whatever. And Jesse and Marciano have been hanging out. And, Jesse being like, me and Marciano are nothing. Like, we're nothing. We had an emotional affair, but like, we are absolutely nothing. But now we're knowing that we're hanging out. So it was just like, well, like, we just know what's to come. Anyway, so this conversation between them two and, Marciano is really just like, just apologizing, being apologetic. And then you could tell when the moment like switches for Marciano of when he's like not as scared of Jordan is when Jordan, tells him like, oh, Jesse she didn't like you. Like she really didn't like you, like you weren't important to her and she didn't really like feel it. You could just see the switch for him because he was like, yeah, I'm not buying that. You don't know what I know. Basic, and then alluding that he knows way more that's gone on in their marriage and um all the bad things that Jordan has done. And it like he's just like, oh, okay, like, yeah, if that's what you want to think. And then I just thought it was absolutely hilarious because, we're just still really confused. Like, I don't think we'll ever fully get clarity. But at least in this instance, it was hilarious to me because Jordan starts asking, about the whole Demi thing with Marciano. And I just thought it was really funny and laughable because, he is so serious when he explains this and said like, no, Demi said that she loved me. Like we said that we loved each other. And it pans to a flashback. And it was the most like just friend giving a friend a hug. And Demi's like, love you. Even if she said, like, I love you, it was very much like a friend. Like, it's just funny to me because Marciano, he's taking all these exchanges and like, I don't know if he's just doing it to just cause drama, entertainment, or what, or if he truly believes this, but at least the instances that he's referencing with the flashbacks that we are seeing, he is truly taking this to heart and making it seem like it is way more than what it was. Like when he describes that Demi says that she loves him, like I would have thought it was going to be such a romantic, sentimental moment, maybe like tears, even just like, I love you. Like you don't understand. Like you mean so much to me and like in each other's arms. But it was such a quick love you, like a friendly walking away type of thing. Like I was just like, wait, is that what he thought? Is that what he was taking seriously? Like, is this the I love you exchange that he is referencing? Yeah, I just was like, there's no way. There's no way. Like, unless I missed something, what I saw was a friendly exchange. Again, I don't know. Like, apparently there's footage, but apparently we don't get to see that. I don't know. It's like, put it out there then. They can give this flashback, but they can't give the rest. I don't know. But yeah, so I was very confused about that. I was like, oh, that's what you thought. But again, now knowing, like I said, perception, right? Now that we know that, my whole thought, I was talking to my husband. I was like, okay, here's what I'm thinking. Do we think this whole thing, Marciano and Jesse, they wanted to get together. They wanted to be together. Like they were definitely intimate, involved, whichever way, whether it was emotionally, physically, both. I don't know. But Jesse was like, we just need some time to go by. Because, I mean, if we flash forward to now, they are hanging out. They are not making whatever they have going on a secret, whether it's friendship, flirtmanship, situationship, relationship. Like it is not a secret. It's all over the internet. They're very flirty. Whether they're playing it up, playing it down, I don't know. Obviously, that connection is still there because it was there behind closed doors when we didn't know. then the case gets busted wide open and it's still being continued. Like if there was any sort of issue, they would just not be speaking, kind of similar to how like Demi and Marciano like don't speak. So my thought, my wheels are starting to turn because, Jesse was very adamant that like, no, nothing happened, whatever. And it became this whole thing of like, oh, well, Demi's the mastermind behind it all. Now that this is coming out and it's like, okay, we saw the I love you exchange. To me, that was absolutely nothing. I still haven't seen anything that was tangible to be like, oh yeah, they for sure had something. And now I'm like, okay, was this a whole big scheme? Was this a scheme for just to set up Jesse and Marciano later? It was like, we need to put this on pause, but we have to kind of have a distraction. Like we need to create where it's like, it's not about us and just focused on us. So then there was this whole Demi Marciano narrative. This is all speculation. This is all theories in my head. Like I said, the wheels were turning. It was almost like, oh no, Jesse Marciano got caught, but how can we flip it? So what our situation is, let's make it look like it was with you and somebody else. And then he just has to stand there and be like, I don't know. I just made it up. And it's hilarious because you have Stassi, Queen Stassi, literally, I'm obsessed with her because she just doesn't care. She's going to ask you straight up. She's like, did you hook up with Jesse? But he's like, no, like I lied. And she's just like, literally, why? Like, why would you lie? Like, that just sounds so like you're telling me you made up a lie to make you look terrible. Like, you didn't make up a lie to make you look better. You made up a lie to be awful. Like, that just isn't making sense. Like, that math isn't mathing. Can you help calculate that? And so she's kind of like clocking him. And again, this is all a theory. So I'm just kind of like, he was telling the truth, but then it was like, oh crap, like that's not going to work because if we want to work later or potentially whatever, so now we got to just like flip the script and like figure it all out. So it was almost like, now are we trying to just turn it on to me? So anyways, that's my theory. And yeah, like maybe there's more, I don't know, but what we were able to at least see, whatever footage, evidence of interaction between them, what he was claiming to be something very serious, didn't look like anything to me. And here's another thing that I want to say. This is just like goes for just like anything, but it just reminds me because people would be like, Demi, why are you getting so angry? Why are you getting so defensive? Like, okay, I actually can't stand when people say that, like, oh, well, why are you getting so defensive? Or why are you getting all like upset? If especially, like if you're telling it's like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Like, it's so frustrating to feel like you have to explain yourself and then it's not like, oh, like, I don't believe you or like whatever. It's like, yeah, like, of course I'm going to defend myself. Of course I'm going to be defensive because that's irritating. Like, that's frustrating. You're a little bit too calm. Like, yeah, sure, you can be calm in the beginning. It's like, all right, if you don't believe me, whatever. But then it's like, then you keep badgering a person about something and they, let's just say in this case, it's like, okay, Demi's telling the truth. Yeah, at some point, like you're going to get frustrated. You're going to defend yourself and you are going to seem very just, I don't know, like you're getting angry because obviously, like, why wouldn't, like, is that just me? I don't know. I just don't understand why people are like, oh, why are you getting so defensive? It's like, well, you're accusing me of something that's not true and that's irritating. Sorry, like that's just annoying. Like, I honestly find it more suspicious when people are very calm. They're like, no, okay, yeah, if that's what you want to think. That's what you want to think. It's like, okay, well, you didn't help me think anything otherwise. So, but anyways, yeah, so Stassi's on there and she's just great because she, confronts everything. She confronts Jordan. She's like, oh, well, it's just kind of funny. Like, you're getting upset at Marciano and Jesse, but like, weren't you also in a situation? Like, weren't you the Marciano to Jesse not too long ago? Like, Jesse was married before you guys got together. And, uh, Jordan's like, oh, well, like, we didn't do anything, whatever. But like, Stassi's like, well, like something had to have happened because she had to figure out that switch, that transition. Um, anyways, so I think Stassi's a great addition to the show and like this cast. And to be able to like ask those questions, um, and just watch everybody kind of like shake a little bit. I don't know. It's great. Um, but in other Secret Lives of Mormon Wives news, because that just doesn't end, they did in fact pick up filming. Thank you. However, Taylor Frankie Paul, North Dakota, will be participating, which understandably so. I think as much as I would love, not Dakota, but as much as I would love to see Taylor on my screen again and just kind of see her journey and how she navigates things, I think that's understandable. I think that's the correct move. Um, as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure that was her decision. Like the door is open. If she would like to participate at some point, she's going to be able to. But I just think with everything going on, she made that decision that she's not going to be participating in filming once they picked back up. Again, I think that was the smart thing to do. And I think honestly that shows that she is taking her healing seriously and she is taking this situation that happened very seriously and to heart and wants to put herself first and her children first. And, it's like I always look at these situations of the entertainment value and then the human value. And so it's like, as much as I would love the entertainment to have her back on our screens because she gives us everything and is super open and super vulnerable. But for a human aspect and her children, I am happy that she is taking this route. I think that is amazing for her. And yeah, I'll be very curious to just see how the dynamic of the show will go. I don't know, because obviously she led the charge. Every girl has their own story, their own situation that they have going on that, they do play a critical role. I'm just kind of curious to see what the dynamics will be, what the situations will be. Um, I don't know. It'll be very interesting. I mean, I will definitely be watching. I mean, to be completely honest, like I don't watch the show just for Taylor Frankie Paul. Like I watch it for all of the women. So that's not going to stop me from watching it by any means. So yeah, I think the girls, if they are ready to film again and they feel comfortable with that, because I know that with this whole situation that was going on, they just did not feel comfortable. But I am excited to see what else is going to happen. So we'll be looking forward to that. And I just want to say, I'm just like, I don't know maybe if this is for the show or not, but I talked a little bit about Jesse and Marciano. Like they have not been shy in front of the crowd, giving everybody what they want, whether again, they're playing it up for just the entertainment of it all, drama. But Jesse, she's like not slowing down by any means. It's just interesting because I don't know if you guys seen that she's now been seen out with this man named Brandon Pierce. And it's just really interesting because we don't get to see it, but apparently he was one of the suitors on Taylor Frankie Paul's Bachelorette season. It's just so weird. The web, the intertwine, the mix, it doesn't ever end. It doesn't end. But anyways, he posted like this Insta video basically saying like, hey, Jesse, if you see this, like, here's a little bit about me. Like, if you're interested, let me know. And then she commented, hi. And then all of a sudden we see them out. We see them out. So what does that mean for her and Marciano? I don't know. I don't know. So like that, I just wasn't expecting that because she was very much involved in Marciano. They were in Nashville together. She was on his shoulders at a concert. Like they have not stopped hanging out. And now all of a sudden we have this new character, Brandon Pierce, come into the mix. And could this be for the show? Potentially, because interesting, cameras get picked up and like now we have this new character and it's intertwining with like the Bachelorette season. Like, I don't know if there's something more to that, more of a reason than obviously what we know now. Hopefully we'll find out. But anyways, yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I was like, oh my gosh, these people, like, it's just all one big circle and they just swap out. They share, that is for sure. But there is more Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Because now we have a new one. We have an Orange County version, and it's expected to air later in 2026. Okay, I'm just gonna go on the cast reveal, and then I'm just gonna say my thoughts. Okay, so we have the cast reveal, which I don't know if I missed something or if it was revealed later, but Jen Affleck was not in the original like promo. And when the girls were talking about it, the other cast, they didn't really give much. They were like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe." But anyways, so later on it was revealed that Jen Affleck is going to be coming from Mormon Wives Utah over to OC. So we got her. We got Aspen Ovard, Bobby Altoff. I might butcher some of these names. Avery Woods, Salam, Andrea, McCall Drapin, Ashley Peace, Madison Botempo. Okay, so it'll be very interesting. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over like some of these girls. Some of them I don't know, but it'll just be really interesting because what I gather, it's like these girls aren't friends. Maybe like they have some internet connections and like internet friendships, but like as far as we know, like it's not like they already were a group like Utah. That's what I felt like made Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, the original cast, so special, is because they were already established before the show aired. And yeah, so like this is just very bizarre to me. Like I just don't know how I feel. Am I gonna watch You Bet Your Bottom Dollar? Like I will 100% on premiere night be watching. But it's just so interesting to me. And I'm kind of like, why? Why are we doing this? Obviously, we know it's a huge hit for the original cast, but it's like, why are we trying to reinvent the wheel? Like, we can maybe do something different. Anyways, but just a quick like overviews of things that I just thought were like interesting. So, like, we have Aspen Ovard, okay? She was born in Utah. So she gained a huge following on YouTube from doing like beauty, fashion, lifestyle videos. In 2015, she married a fellow creator, Parker Ferris, and they have 3 daughters, but they filed for divorce in 2024, which is like a huge shock to people. So what's interesting about her is now she's very open about her life and her lifestyle and her relationship. And turns out, she is in a throuple. She's in some like polygamous relationship. So I guess, she describes it as a 3-person relationship with an equal dynamic. So she's dating a woman named Bree Davis, and Bree Davis is married to a man named Billy. So I can only imagine and I can only hope that this is played out on the show. Like this is on the show. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know what everybody's like storyline is going to be. I would think like that's huge. And obviously, when you're looking at it as this whole Mormon thing and like it all started with the soft swinging and all that. So obviously, like I think, you're looking at her and what her lifestyle is now. I think that like tries to play into that theme. So I would think that they're gonna show that. And I'm very I don't know. It's interesting for sure. And yeah, I'll be so curious to see if we get to see that play out. And then there's Bobby. So she's in her late 20s. She's from California, sorry. She's not Mormon. She started as a TikTok mom creator, doing like pregnancy and parenting content. And then 2023, she started like this podcast, and her whole niche is being very like awkward and deadpan and quirky, if you will. I don't know. It's just like a very interesting type of personality. One that I think can work for short videos, like TikToks, whatever. For a podcast, maybe not so much. I mean, if you want to try to compare it to like literally anything, I think the only person that I know that can do it really well is Caleb from Barstool. But I mean, his is hilarious. I don't know. Hers is just, I guess the goal is to make you uncomfortable. And I think she does a really good job because it is uncomfy to watch. And anyways, so she started this whole podcast, and so she's like interviewing people. So things really kind of took off and like got all big for her when she interviewed Drake, because people were like, how in the world did she interview Drake? And it's not even like she's interviewing Drake, but it's in the odd, quirky, deadpan, meant to be awkward type of style. So it's just interesting. So Obviously, like that blew up. So people who didn't know who she was started to know who she was. They're looking more into her. And anyways, so all of this is just kind of going crazy over the internet. And there's rumors that she's like this industry plant. There was allegations that she was hooking up with Drake because, or not because, sorry, there was allegations she was hooking up with Drake, which was crazy because she was still married at the time. So this ultimately led to her divorce. And we just don't even really know what happened, but like a feud happened. Like there was so many things going on. Like her and Drake started to not follow each other. The episode got deleted. Like there was just a lot that happened there that nobody got clarity on. So I'm hoping that this gets talked about on the show. I would think, I'm just trying to think all these women that have any sort of polarizing thing going on in their life. I would think this would be like kind of the stepping stone to be like, all right, here's my story, to have some sort of interest, to get people in. And yeah, you want to like take it off right away. I mean, that's what every girl in the Utah show, like it was like, here's my interesting thing. And you're just like, whoa, like you're glued in immediately. So yeah, she'll be interesting. I mean, I don't really know. I don't follow her. I never followed her. I didn't really find her funny. So I'm very curious to know what she's going to be like as a reality star. You know, it's like different when you have a podcast and you're just doing short TikTok clips. Like, what is her persona going to be? Is that who she is? And like, is she going to play into that the entire time? I don't know. We'll see. All right. Avery Woods. Okay. So, you know, she's in her late 20s. She moved from Arizona. She moved to California. So prior to all of her internet fame, you know, she's a pediatric nurse. But you know, now she's a full-time influencer because, you know, she started off her content like talking about nurse and being a mom and parenting, you know, how most people start off, like niche content, very relatable, whatever. And then suddenly they take off and then it's full-time influencer time. And so her whole thing just kind of shifted. So now she does like lifestyle, procedures, beauty, very like unrealistic expectations. People like to say, like, I feel like a lot of her fans, they stopped really enjoying her content because it just wasn't relatable anymore. But anyways, so for her, you know, she's under the Unwell Network. So she has a podcast under Alex Cooper. She's another one that I never see her podcast ever, ever. But she apparently has one called Cheers with Avery Woods. So I guess you can go check her out there if you wanted to. But anyways, so that's kind of her situation. She does have major controversy. I did hear about this. So this was actually how I heard that she had a podcast. She had on her podcast, she had Harry Jowsey on there. And it was just really gross, to be completely honest. Like, I'm not even going to say what she said. You can go look it up if you want to. But she just made like really gross, explicit sexual comments about Jesus and Christian women. And I mean, even if you're not religious, even if you're not Christian, like people were very upset by this. They were like, that's actually disgusting. And it was very gross. And so she got a lot of backlash. She, you know, of course, then she did her whole like the dog and pony show of posting the apology. And people were just like, okay, yeah, okay. Like we need to normalize, honestly, not just posting an apology on things, because anytime I see like a public announcement, a public apology, I'm just like, okay, fake. Your PR team wrote that. You don't believe that. You either chat GPT'd it or someone else wrote it for you. You don't actually believe that. And it's just funny because then people will be like, oh, like, where's your apology? Where's your apology? Save the apology. Like you said it, you meant it, unless you truly are apologetic, but it's like, it's a dime a dozen now. You know, it's like, oh, you messed up. All right, now you're going to make this statement. Okay. It's boring and it's tiring. But anyways, I mean, I guess glad she apologized, but it's not real. You know what I mean? Like, I don't buy it. And anyways, so she just turned a lot of people off with her behavior. So I don't know. That'll be really interesting too. I know she used to be really good friends with Emily Kaiser. And as we know, like Emily Kaiser has gone through a lot of tragedies. She lost her son about a year ago in a horrific drowning accident. And that really caused, I don't know if that was it, but ever since that happened, there was a huge shift. And they're like no longer friends. So I don't know if that'll get discussed on there. There is rumors that apparently Avery was trying to get Emily Kaiser to either go on Call Her Daddy podcast to talk about everything. And that's kind of the whole ambulance chaser thing, because Emily Kaiser, she reposted that too. I don't really know, but yeah, they just were two girls that were really good friends, went on the up together, but both took very different types of path with their fame. Yeah. All right, the last person that I'm going to talk about, because the other girls I really just don't know, but this one I thought was interesting. McCall Drapon. Um, so she's in her mid 30s, so she lives in the Orange County. I don't really know much about her because she's not in the influencer lifestyle yet. But a huge notable fact about her is that she is Macy Neely's big sister. So obviously Macy's on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, the original cast, and so yeah, it'll be interesting. I just yeah, it was funny actually because we saw little clips, me and my husband, of the Get Real Hulu event, and we were looking at the cast of OC, the Secret Lives OC cast, and yeah, my husband, he was like, "Oh my gosh, this girl, like, she looks so familiar. Like, why does she look just like Macy?" And then turns out it's actually Macy's sister. So that'll be really interesting. I'm kind of curious, like I'm very skeptical of the show. I'll be completely honest, just because, like I said, were there any pre-existing friendships? I don't know. I mean, you have the couple that are already influencers, already in the entertainment world, some podcasting worlds, but like, I just don't know if there's those true friendships there. I just don't know if the drama will be very curated um, by producers, because obviously, when you have to form people together, you kind of have to like kind of artificially put in some things. I mean, maybe it's not all fake, but you kind of have to like lead that path. So I'm just very curious to see how this dynamic is going to play out. Also, with not really knowing much about the other women, which I need to look into, like, I don't know, none of those names stood out to me by any means. And then obviously, we know in like Macy's sister, like, she's not in that like world. So I feel like her just kind of going into it, is she going to be timid? Is she going to give us a lot of good stuff, or is she going to be very reserved because she one isn't used to all the cameras, or has tips from Macy being like, oh look, they'll want you to say this, they'll want you to do that, like don't give into that, because as we know, like Macy's pretty level-headed on the show. Like she doesn't have a lot of drama. Like she will speak her mind and her truth, but it's not like she's giving anything like dirty drama, if I will, like, if that makes any sort of sense. But yeah, I don't know. And like honestly, I just want to know, like, does it have to be called Secret Lives of Mormon Wives of OC? Like, I just feel like that it's not like, why are we still like holding on to the Mormon wives aspect? I think that's very bizarre. Like, I think some of them used to be Mormon, but no longer are. Maybe some are still practicing, but like it doesn't reflect the whole cast. It doesn't necessarily reflect the actual premise of the show. And I don't know. I mean, obviously we have Jen on there. But I don't know. I'm just not buying it. I wish like I could see if they could do something along the lines of like Secret Lives of, and kind of change it that way. Like Secret Lives of Influencers. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I don't know. I just don't know why we're holding on to this Mormon wives thing. Um, Especially when these people aren't Mormon. Either sure, maybe they used to be, but if they're not currently practicing, like, because even the original show, 3/4 of them weren't like actively practicing. I'm pretty sure Macy, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Macy was the only one who is still like an active member in the church. So it's just kind of bizarre. I don't know. I don't like that. So I don't know. I just feel kind of weird about it, but I'm not completely out on it. I definitely am going to dabble. Like, I would be a liar if I said I would it's going to have absolutely nothing to do with it, because I will 100% have everything to do with it. I'm super excited about it. I'm just skeptical. I need to figure it out. I need to sniff it out, see what these girls are all about, because I mean, they want to get people that were interesting, at least just from what I know on the internet, like just knowing their name and what I know about them, like they got me hooked. So I just hope that they address some of these like little scandals, like, yeah, but all right. So I have been yapping for so long. I'm going to wrap this up with giving my chic of the week and my week of the week. So, all right, I have to give my chic of the week to Stassi calling out Sheena on Vanderpump Villa. I had recorded a little snippet of that scene and posted it on my personal TikTok. But I just thought it was absolutely hilarious. I sent it to all my friends. She When she's confronting Marciano and Marciano was like, "Well, it was Demi and Sheena. They told me to say it." And and then Stassi's like, "Ugh," it always comes back to Sheena. And she's like in her confessional, like, "Hi, Sheena. She's gonna love that." Like, that was amazing. That was hilarious because Sheena really is always involved somehow. You know, it's so true. Like, she has to weasel her way in. It's a how can we make this about me type of situation. But I just loved it. I thought it was so funny because she was just like, "Oh God, like I can't get away from this girl." Because if you've been watching Vanderpump, like you know the lore of Sheena and Stassi, the ups and downs these two have had. And I mean, Stassi's always been superior, to be completely honest. But so her calling that out, I don't know, it just like kind of filled a little piece of my Vanderpump heart because obviously like that show is done, or at least like the original cast, like it'll never be the cast that I know it to be. So I was like, oh my gosh, that was a little nostalgic. But anyways, my week of the week is PR stunts. Okay. I am so tired of one, actual PR stunts, and then two, people thinking that everything is a PR stunt. Some things are just not PR stunts. Some things are just ridiculous. Some people are just completely unhinged and they have lost their mind. And I'm so like, I just can't stand when people are like, it's a PR stunt. Like, it's got to be PR. It's got to be PR. Because here's my thing, like, at least my perception of PR, it's like PR is enough to get the people talking and create some sort of stir, some interesting conversation, maybe about you, what's going on, but nothing to make people hate you. Do you know what I'm saying? I just think that's just weird. Maybe I don't know. I'm trying to think if I can even figure out if there had been any PR stunts that I know of that have been where they completely just like crap on somebody's name, make them look terrible that have come out like in a good situation. Like I can't think of anything. So like these PR stunts of like the whole Alex Cooper, Alex Earl PR stunt. No, it was never a PR stunt. I don't know why people think that. They're like, oh, she's going to end up being on Call Her Daddy. Why would she do that? She's already been on Call Her Daddy. She doesn't need she doesn't need an Alex Cooper to platform anything that she has going on. Like, that's just stupid. I'm sorry. It was just so ridiculous. And people have been paying any sort of attention. This feud has been going on for so long. So you're telling me this is like a 10-month PR stunt? No, that's ridiculous. Same with Amanda West and the whole Sierra Kyle situation. It's all PR stunt. It's an April Fool's joke. Why? Why on earth would that be a thing? Like I'm just thinking of it in like, if I was Amanda and let's just say the Bravo team of whatever, or like management, I don't know who does all that, but they were to present on a platter of like, hey guys, I'm coming to the table. I have a really great idea. Okay, this PR stunt. Amanda, we're going to make you look like absolute crap because you're still technically married to Kyle, but we're going to make it even better because your best friend Sierra, yeah, you know that guy West? Yeah, the guy that you've like been touching all over like the past like year and a half under everybody's noses. Okay, yes, let's make it seem like you guys are in a relationship together. That'll really get the crowd going. Like we'll just do some little pictures of you guys being out. We'll actually start it maybe around the Super Bowl, but we won't let anybody fully know until like April, March. No, that's not happening. That's not happening. Like that's just too much. Like, and I get it because people are upset. Like they don't want these things to be reality. Like I get it, but not everything is a PR stunt. And I'm tired of people immediately being like, it's a PR stunt. Like, let's just think about it for a second. Like, let's just really like, why would anybody agree to that? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sort of sense. Like, I just don't understand what PR would like. Why would Amanda agree to that? Because like that just makes her look terrible. She lost a brand deal basically. Like she's ruining any future potential. Like everything always blows over at some point. I mean, you know, Tom Sandoval, he's on any other show that he could possibly can get on, but like whatever, like he's still getting opportunities. Raquel, I don't know, like she chose the path to like completely fall off the face of the earth. But like I just don't understand why you would choose a PR stunt to make yourself look terrible. Now, if it was a PR stunt, like, you know, what people do for shows of like, I'm trying to think like Pam Ann and Liam Neeson, you know, they start in a show together and then it's like, ooh, they're being really flirty on the red carpet. Okay. Yeah, that's PR. Or like really flirty in interview situations, like two single people, okay. You know what I mean? Like that is what I consider PR. Like no harm, no foul type of thing. Get the people all buzzed up and like talking about it. Anyways, I've ranted way too long. Like I just felt really passionate about the whole PR stunt thing. And I just need everybody to like take 5 seconds to just really think about what the situation is and like would it even make sense for it to be a PR statement or PR stunt for the people that are involved. So anyways, thanks so much, you guys, for listening in to all my ramblings, all my rants. It's been so much fun. I love talking to you guys. And if you got to the end of this, bless you. And if you haven't, again, subscribe, like, follow, rate, all of the things everywhere where you listen to the podcast, watch on YouTube, subscribe, comment there, and follow me on TikTok and Instagram. It's at the.drama.drop. And I will see you guys next time. Love you guys.